guys, and welcome to the second installment of Granny Square Tuesday. So I just started this series, and if you're unfamiliar, Granny Square Tuesday is a series that I started where I work up a square out of this book called The Ultimate Granny Square Source Book. And I show you guys what my version of the square looks like. We discuss it a little bit. Right now I am working just the floral designs with the idea that I will eventually sew them together to make a spring throw. That's the idea anyways. So this week's design is, or this week's square was actually designed by the same person from last week. So our first two are actually designed by the same designer. See if I can't find where I'm at in the book. It is on page 27, and this is what their version looks like. So I chose similar but different colors. If you watched last week's video, you'll recognize these colors. For the second square, I went ahead and I used the same colors. As I explained in the first video of this series, I am going to be using this color here for the outside row of every square so that it's got so that the throw has a little bit of consistency. And I chose this colorway because I didn't want it to be too feminine of a blanket. I didn't want it to be too girly. Flowers to me speak femininity, and I didn't want it to be too feminine, so I decided to give it kind of a neutral color for the, I guess you would call it base color. So this one I have to say was easier to do than the first one, but in the book, something, I mentioned this in my other video as well, the book's written instructions can be a little bit difficult to understand. For example, when I was doing the green row here, this green row, it told me to single crochet in the third loop of the 6th chain of any petal, and I didn't understand what it was saying, and then it finally dawned on me. You have your front loop, your back loop. They must be referring to that bump in the back of your chain stitch, because if you look, these are just chain stitches. And so I thought if they're referring to a third loop, it's got to be the back bump. And that's the way I did it, but I don't really care too much for that. You can see it's kind of, it's wonky. I don't know, it makes, like when I go to block these out, see what I mean? Like that to me looks weird. And I feel like almost that I should have gone around the whole chain, or actually put the single crochet over 2 loops instead of, quote, the third loop. But I understand that it is supposed to kind of make the flowers stand out a little bit. If you did miss last week's video, of course I will put it above somewhere in this video. I have not woven in any of my ends on this one. This one was a little harder to weave in my ends. You can see in the back I couldn't, there wasn't a lot for me to crochet over, so I'm gonna have to go and weave in these ends. I did crochet a little bit over this, but I'll still have to go in and weave that in. But if you did miss last week's video, this is Red Heart Super Saver in the colorway Buff. This is Red Heart Super Saver in the colorway Medium Time. This one is a Hirschner's color, Hirschner's worsted yarn. The colorway was just called Erin. And then this is a random yellow yarn that I pulled off of my shelf. I don't know what brand, so it was just one that I found at the thrift store. So I don't have the first one. I did do a little bit of a size comparison. I don't have the first square with me right this second, but this one did come out a little bit bigger than the first square. And then I'm using my 5.75 millimeter Christmas loaf cat hook. Again, I don't have that with me right this second, but this one did come out a little bit bigger, and that's what I was saying. Like, I don't usually work with granny squares, but I think that they're gonna have to be blocked. So I did get on Amazon and look for a blocking board, and hopefully that will kind of help with that situation. So yeah, this is week number 2's square. Y'all are gonna have to let me know which ones you guys like best. At some point, when I get to the point where I'm attaching them, you guys will have to let me know which square that you guys like. I'm not probably going to sew them together in any particular order, but I don't know. And I'm thinking if I run out of floral squares, maybe I'll make some doubles, I guess you could say. On these 2 pages in the book, there are, you know, you can see all of the squares that that you can make with this book. And I'm thinking, like, that's not necessarily, I don't know if you guys can see it. This one is not necessarily a floral design, but we could make it kind of florally. Same with this one, you know, and I'm thinking maybe I'll do something like that if I run out of actual flower designs. And you know, I have to fill in spots to make the full throw. I don't know. That's what I was thinking about, though. Now, another thing I was thinking about was these little, there's a lion, an elephant, a zebra, and a hippo, and a giraffe. And I think that's super cute for a baby blanket. But I don't know how I would put just these 5 together to make a baby blanket. There is 5 different fruit. There's an apple, a cut apple. I don't know if you guys can see all of this. A cut apple, a lemon, an orange, a nectarine. There's also a watermelon slice square. So maybe I could combine the fruit with the animals. There's a rainbow square too. I thought that was kind of, for like a baby blanket, that would be okay. So I've been kind of looking at these and, you know, thinking about what I could do with these squares in the future. But anyways, guys, that is what I have for you for this week's Granny Square Tuesday. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys come back for next week. I have actually already finished week 3's square, and so I'm really having a lot of fun with this series. I really am, and I hope you guys are enjoying it too. So yeah, give me a thumbs up if you are, and I will see you in next week's Granny Square Tuesday video. Bye.